What is cognitive dissonance and how does it play into our behaviors? It's usually when we have two conflicting thoughts or a thought and an action that conflict. And what we want to do is reduce that dissonance. We don't want to feel like we have these two thoughts that don't go together. And so to reduce that dissonance, we'll either A, going to change our behaviors, or B, we're going to change our thoughts or add another thought on top of that existing thought. This is usually true when it has to do with your self-image. So the way that you see yourself or understand yourself. There was one experiment where folks were asked to do a very boring task for an hour. And in that situation, they were given $20. And then the other groups were asked to do a very boring task for an hour and they were given nothing. When you were given nothing, you said the task was not too bad and that you might do it again. When you were given $20, you said it was dull and boring because you explained why you did the task because you got the $20. But if you didn't get anything, then you had to make it seem like it was kind of okay. Otherwise, that might damage your self-image and you might consider yourself silly for staying. So let's talk about 3 different words: prejudice, stereotype, and discrimination. So let's start with stereotype. Stereotype is a belief or an assumption about a specific group of people. Okay, so let's say that you have a belief or an assumption about people who wear baggy pants. You think those folks are rude. Then a prejudice is a feeling you have. Oh, baggy pants people are so rude. Oh, I don't talk to them. Okay, gross. Then discrimination is you actually engaging in a behavior outside in the world. So that could be if you see a person with baggy pants, you might walk away from them. You might flinch. You might be like, make you make a nasty face. Okay. Again, there are 3 different words. So prejudice and stereotype exist here and discrimination exists in the world. Now, I want you to review the different types of prejudice and stereotype and discrimination and understand that generally they're similar. We all have those things in common in our society because we all live and share one culture. Let's talk about groupthink, in part because it's going to be a short answer on your test. So groupthink means that you would be inclined to do things or engage in actions that you would not normally be inclined to do had you not been a part of that group. And another thing that facilitates groupthink is when the group does not allow dissenting opinions. So if you say, oh, this is not right, this could go wrong, and you list out the ways it could go wrong, but the group is not willing to talk about that or listen to that, or the leader does not allow for diverse ideas to be talked about without expressing anger at those who share those diverse ideas, then you could enter a situation where you go along with the group even when many people in the group don't think that it's a good idea, but you keep going along because you think that everyone else thinks it's a good idea. And so we often have many historical examples of how this was used and how it goes poorly. And it looks really wild in retrospect that everybody went along with it. But they feel a lot of pressure to conform. And that's generally what happened.